most of the things that I've learned over time is that almost all truly exceptional and mentally strong people have been through hell. It's very few that put themselves through hell when life is great.
Joe Rogan, the popular podcaster and commentator, recently criticized Oprah Winfrey, raising concerns about her influence on the public and her role in the entertainment industry. Rogan questioned the impact of Oprah's career, noting that while she has become one of the most influential media figures, her control over public opinion could be problematic. He also highlighted the curiosity surrounding her vast wealth, symbolized by her enormous mansion, and hinted at the complexities behind her public image and industry connections that support her continued success. Rogan's remarks suggest there may be more to her influence than meets the eye.
I got passed by Oprah. Oprah has a house in Montecito. I passed by the house that is a ridiculous house for a person. It's like a giant lawn, $50 million house, a fucking huge estate. It's a castle. She's a queen. You know, you don't want that. Fuck her. You know,
yeah.
My house is $250,000. What the fuck is she doing with that 50 million? And that's not even a house she lives in. She just visits that once a year. Takes a shit there, has someone cook for her, takes a nap, gets up,
stirs an animosity.
In a recent episode of his podcast, Joe Rogan mockingly referenced Oprah's statement about the possibility of running the government alongside former President Donald Trump. Rogan and his guests found this idea unrealistic, criticizing the notion of two such vastly different public figures collaborating on something as significant as governance. They poked fun at the idea, emphasizing the absurdity of the pairing.
You watched Trump on The View from 2015 when they all loved him?
Yeah, that's right.
Played that the other day?
It's fantastic.
It's nuts.
Yeah. They're all
it's
being
nuts.
Cute with him.
Yeah.
And,
how about Oprah? Oprah was talking about her and Trump running together.
Yeah. I know.
And now she's speaking to the DNC that he's a threat to democracy.
From the redwood forests, love those redwoods, to the Gulf Stream waters, I've seen racism and sexism and income inequality and division. I've not only seen it, I've been on the receiving end of it.
And she's up there talking about income inequality. Hey, lady.
Yeah, I know.
You're rich as fuck. How is that equal? And also, when Michelle Obama was saying, I think she was saying her mother or grandmother was always suspicious of people who took more than they needed.
Yes.
You are worth so much money.
I'm kidding me.
That's so crazy. And you did it on a civil servant's salary, which is insane.
Rogan used this moment to highlight the disconnect between public figures like Oprah and the realities of political leadership. He emphasized how celebrities often make offhand remarks that attract attention but lack practical substance, underscoring the challenges of translating celebrity influence into effective governance.
The women would get super pissed off if The Rock was the president and Oprah was VP.
She's potentially next in line. That's not a bad thing.
A lot of people would want her to be president, Oprah to be the first female president, to counter, the first celebrity president being Trump. Oprah counters that with the first female celebrity president. Bah! That's a big win.
Would The Rock be VP in that situation?
Tough to get The Rock to take a fucking back seat.
Yeah,
son.
I don't know about that.
Dave Chappelle has shared his experience on Oprah's show, suggesting that he felt mistreated or manipulated during his appearance. This reflects a broader narrative about how some guests feel when interacting with powerful media personalities.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay.
When
you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see before, look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time of their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No, not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I feel like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress.
One of Rogan's main criticisms of Oprah is her platform's history of spreading medical misinformation. He pointed to instances where Oprah allegedly promoted inaccurate information about MDMA, a psychoactive drug which could have misled her audience. This criticism ties into broader concerns about the influence of talk shows on public perceptions of health and medicine. Rogan argues that Oprah's platform has often given a voice to unverified and potentially harmful medical advice, contributing to a culture of misinformation in the media. Additionally, Oprah's associations with controversial figures, such as Harvey Weinstein, have also come under scrutiny, considering Weinstein's history of misconduct allegations.
Oprah Winfrey has built a reputation for herself, but it hasn't been able to withstand the test of time. And that's her own fault, because her behavior does not align with what she preaches. And today, I want to talk a little bit about Harvey Weinstein. I feel like that name is so triggering because he's essentially what kicked off the Me Too movement, because he's a sick man that Oprah, for whatever reason, continues to support. And it's because these two go way back in time. They've had a professional relationship that stretches back 2 decades. So Harvey would use his relationship with Oprah to go and flex on these other people and, probably make some offers that he was never going to keep. He just wanted to get them in the room.
People have also criticized Oprah for promoting unhealthy diet culture during the height of her talk show's popularity. Rogan points out that Oprah's endorsements of various diets and weight loss products often lacked scientific backing, contributing to unrealistic body standards.
Oprah also pushed an unhealthy amount of diet culture onto her audience.
What I did was I fasted without cheating for a solid 6 weeks. I ate absolutely nothing.
And would consistently back less than credible people to give medical information, including Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz, specifically Dr. Oz. He was a very unethical individual to have on the Oprah Winfrey Show, in my opinion, and his own show is a whole other can of worms. But he was consistently trying to sell different diet pills, miracle weight loss pills that simply did not work.
During the peak of her show's viewership, many people followed Oprah's advice without questioning its validity, resulting in the widespread adoption of potentially harmful dietary practices.
Using your medical degree to sell junk diet pills, in my opinion, is disgusting. This kind of medical misinformation was most certainly not the only kind of misinformation that we would see on the Oprah Winfrey Show. We also saw a lot of spiritual manipulation and spiritual misinformation. In 2010, Oprah Winfrey brought on self-proclaimed spiritual healer onto the Oprah Winfrey Show named John of God. John of God caught a lot of media attention for allegedly being able to place his hands on people and heal them through the power of prayer. John of God would also perform surgeries with scissors and his bare hands.
Over the years, public perception of Oprah has evolved, with more people increasingly questioning her influence and the narratives she promotes.
Do these 4 things. No, do these 3 things. I'm going to make it easier. Do these 3 things. Wallahi, it works, and I've seen it work with a lot of people. It works with myself as well. Number 1, you need to first and foremost truly and really identify clearly what is it that is disturbing you. What's your problem? Don't go into 5 or 10 different problems in your life. Don't branch them out. You just go to one by one. Just put it in one little bag and focus on that problem. Identify it. You can do it right now while you're sitting here. Identify a problem that plays on your mind. 1, not 2, 1. Is it your exams? Is it money? Is it your children? Is it your marriage? Is it something someone said to you? Is it your looks? Is it your job? Is it your car? What is it? Any problem. Is it something legal? Is it someone who's after you? Whatever it is.
One of the most disturbing issues that emerged soon after the Academy's inception was the mistreatment of students by staff members. In 2007, just months after the school opened, a matron was accused of physically mistreating students.
Oprah Winfrey has had a lot of controversy around her African school for girls, with huge conspiracy theories starting that these girls were going missing from Oprah's school. All of these theories started shortly after Oprah opened her school in 2007, and the matron of that school was charged with essay of 7 different girls. Oprah ended up offering a public apology to the parents and the children and citing her own essay incidents in this apology. But the matron would then be found not guilty of these crimes. But then it shocked the nation because shortly after this, Oprah's school was hit with another essay allegation. 7 students were suspended for harassing and fondling classmates. And a lot of people thought that this stemmed from the very first incident because why would these children be acting like this? And the rumors started swirling after this point because they just didn't understand how these things could happen so close to one another. And then boom, there was another investigation at Oprah's school after the body of a newborn was found in a girl's book bag. And a lot of people were freaking out about this because they're like, boom, we have 2 essay allegations.
The allegations sent shockwaves through the media, raising significant concerns about the safety and well-being of the girls who were meant to be protected and nurtured at the institution.
And now all of a sudden a young girl has a baby in her book bag. Everyone found these incidents super alarming, and it's still something talked about to this day. Now, we cannot confirm if any of these girls from this school ended up going missing because I can't find anything about that, but that is a huge conspiracy theory that's been passed around for a couple years. But these 2 essay allegations and this baby being found in the little girl's book bag are 3 things that actually happened at Oprah's school. And a lot of people find this super creepy, knowing who Oprah surrounds herself with and the background that Oprah has always claimed about herself going through SA as a young girl. So there's a whole bunch of controversy around Oprah, but you guys let me know what you guys think of this 3-part series in the comments.
Oprah Winfrey's talk show was once one of the highest-rated programs on television, captivating millions with its engaging content and influential guests. However, in recent years, there has been growing criticism of the show for spreading misinformation, particularly concerning medical topics and controversial issues.
And a lot of blatant racism. Oprah, a black female, was pulling in higher ratings and more viewership than many of the men who were dominating the airwaves at the time. But despite the constant scrutiny that Oprah faced from her peers and from viewers for simply being a successful black woman, she would continue to press on. Oprah would interview everyday individuals, celebrities, models, musicians, entertainers, and she also would often cover difficult subjects surrounding racism and violence against women. While many people loved her, others criticized her for having extremely exploitative shows that were often packed with a lot of misinformation. Now, I want to dive into some of the controversial moments that we saw on the Oprah Winfrey Show throughout the years. Certainly not every controversial moment, but some very notable ones, and then I want to go into some of the more groundbreaking episodes. In 1986, newly discovered model, now household name, Cindy Crawford, made an appearance on the Oprah Winfrey Show alongside the founder of Elite Model Management, Don Casablancas, the man who discovered Cindy Crawford. In an uncomfortable moment in this interview, Oprah asked 19-year-old Cindy Crawford to stand up to show off her body to the audience.
As public awareness has increased, many have begun to reevaluate the impact of Oprah's platform. While it entertained and inspired many, it also promoted ideas and advice that were not always accurate or beneficial, leading to a more critical view of her legacy. Interview 13.
So the Oprah Winfrey Show was in general highly criticized for the constant medical and scientific misinformation that was platformed and constantly spewed on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Oprah regularly platformed guests who would be promoting products that were not backed by science, and guests who had theories that were also not corroborated with scientific information. In 2007, Oprah Winfrey invited Jenny McCarthy onto the Oprah Winfrey Show, and she would actually partner up with Jenny McCarthy, and Jenny McCarthy was on the Oprah Winfrey Show I think like 12 or 13 times total. Oprah allowed Jenny McCarthy about an hour of airtime to express her theory that she was very confident in, that the reason her son was diagnosed with autism was because of the vaccines he had received. Not once did Oprah offer any kind of pushback at Jenny's claims that she was presenting as fact. Sorry, baby woke up and wants to sleep on me, so bear with me. Many, if not all, of Jenny's claims about vaccines being linked to autism could be easily debunked by scientific information, medical information. But Oprah only encouraged Jenny, said that she was a warrior for going to Google and researching
the link between vaccines and autism. Mentions of autism being reversed.
Henson has also expressed criticism of Oprah, sharing her personal experience of feeling mistreated. Henson alleged that Oprah did not pay her fairly and treated her poorly, which she suggested might be related to her being a black woman. These allegations highlight broader discussions about race, gender, and equitable treatment within the entertainment industry.
The way Taraji P. Henson got Oprah scrambling, you already knew it was up. Now, in a previous post, Taraji P. Henson had made a statement regarding how the producers and the show sets had given all the cast members rental cars in Atlanta, and she said that she's not driving a rental car because 1, that's ghetto, 2, Atlanta is very dangerous to drive in, and 3, it's an insurance liability. Now, Oprah has said Cookie Lyons, Katherine Johnson, Yvette, and now Shook Avery. Those are the many characters Taraji P. Henson has brought to life in ways only she could. Then she said, join us tonight as we sit down to discuss her career and the sisterhood she formed with the Color Purple cast. Okay, for 1, Oprah, just stop. But for 2, you already know we're gonna watch it. You already know we're watching it. But 3, it's funny that she had announced that, and I'm curious as to, was this organized before Taraji made these statements in regards to her driving service while she was shooting The Color Purple? Or was this like a last-ditch effort where they scrambled together to get this interview done? Because I'm curious, I want to know. Now, I'm more than positive that it's probably pre-recorded, but I find it so hilarious that after everything was said and done and everything was filmed and she got paid out what she got paid out in regards to interviews, press, and the movie, that now we're starting to hear from Taraji P. Henson her real full experience working with this cast. And also what's really crazy is that it's notable black producers, black screenwriters who worked on this film. So the fact that she was receiving this from our own people is even more bewildering. But we're gonna tune in and we'll give you the highlights about what's said, body language, and all that other good stuff.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.